It's often said that coaches don't provide answers. They ask the right questions to help people find their own solutions. But what makes a good question, you might wonder? Well, here are 5 helpful hints to keep in mind. Number 1, ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions will make sure that you get more than just a yes or no response from the coachee. By asking open-ended questions, you give the coachee an opportunity to think things through, to explore their thoughts and feelings, and often to see that there is more than one way to tackle things. A great acronym to remember to help you to ask open-ended questions is TED. TED stands for Tell Me, Explain and Describe. Some examples of TED questions include: tell me about possibilities that you see for action, explain to me why this is important to you, or describe what it is that you might try next. Number 2, keep it short and simple. Some coaches can't help themselves from overcomplicating things. One way that they do this is by asking more than one question all rolled into one. For example, a coach might ask, when did you decide to approach your boss about the issue? And what happens? And how are you feeling about that now? Asking a question like this will only leave the coachee feeling confused and is sure to interrupt the flow of the conversation as they try to work out how to respond to the question. The solution is simple. Keep your questions short and simple. Try asking questions like, what happens? What else? What could you try now? Number 3, avoid leading questions. As a coach, you should try to avoid asking leading questions. Leading questions are those which in effect imply that you have a solution in mind. For example, what response do you think a coach has in mind asking a question such as, have you thought about speaking to your line manager about this? If you do catch yourself asking a leading question, you can often remedy things by adding some options on at the end. So if you asked, have you thought about speaking to your line manager about this? You might add, or perhaps a colleague, a team member, or even somebody else in the organisation. Number 4, focus on solutions, not problems. Asking solution-focused questions is a great way of helping your coachee to find their own solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Here are a couple of examples comparing problem-focused questions with the solution-focused alternatives. So, rather than asking, what is hindering you? Instead, ask a question such as, what progress have you made so far? And another example, instead of asking, why is this an issue for you? Ask a question such as, what would success look like for you? Or what would success mean to you? Number 5, observation and question technique. My final hint is the observation and question technique. Here you pick out the most significant thing that you have heard or observed the coaches say. You feed this back to them and turn it into a question. It might go something like this. I heard you say that you're feeling a little apprehensive. Could you tell me more about this? Or it might go, you mentioned earlier that you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Could you explain what you mean by this to me? Repeating the words back to the coachee shows both that you're listening to them and also gives a coachee an opportunity to hear what they've said and can often prompt some further thinking. I hope that you will find this video useful, and thanks for watching.